Hello everyone. You are listening to this audiobook on channel Voice for Purpose by NSS IIT Bombay.
The Greek civilization was a treasure trove of culture and knowledge. It was possibly the renaissance of literature and arts in the ancient world. Even to this day, archaeologists are unearthing texts and other remnants containing fantastical epics and anecdotes from that period. The Trojan War was one such remarkable event recorded in ancient literature. It is a story of great armies and vengeful gods that revolves around numerous heroes of the Greek mythology. Let us look at the events that led up to this legendary war. It began with a quarrel among three powerful Olympian gods, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. They had a disagreement over who was the fairest of them after the goddess of strife tricked them with an apple. To settle the dispute, they approached a mortal man by the name of Paris. He was the prince of Troy, a grand and powerful kingdom with immense wealth and numerous allies. To sway him, each of the goddesses bribed him in their own way. Athena offered him wisdom and skill in battle. Hera offered great political power, while Aphrodite offered him the love of the most beautiful woman alive, Helen of Sparta. Helen was a renowned beauty and was married to Menelaus, brother of Agamemnon, the king of Sparta. Paris ended up picking Aphrodite, thus earning the ire of Hera and Athena in what was known as the Judgment of Paris. Paris went to Sparta under the guise of a diplomat. Eros, the god of love, shot Helen with his arrow, which caused her to fall in love with Paris when she saw him. It all happened as Aphrodite had promised him. Helen and Paris eloped to the city of Troy, thus marking the beginning of the Trojan War that would go on to last 10 long years. Menelaus was enraged at the loss of his wife. He summoned all of Helen's previous suitors who had sworn to defend her marriage no matter whom she chose. They all came to be known as the Achaeans, the ancient Greek who went to war with Troy. The Achaeans included many notable mythological figures such as Odysseus, Ajax, and Achilles. They were led by Agamemnon on his grand expedition to retrieve Helen. Many might have already heard of Achilles, the fabled Greek warrior who was near invincible. His skill as a warrior was unsurpassed and known to everyone. It is said that he was dipped in the river Styx when he was a child, making him invulnerable all over except his heel. This is where the expression Achilles' heel, meaning weak spot, originates from. Let us now return to the events of the war. The coalition sailed in great warships carrying numerous soldiers. They were plagued by storms and tempests wrought by angry deities who either demanded sacrifices or sided with Troy. After a long time at sea, the army finally landed on the Trojan shores and began a brutal 9-year siege of the city. The army scoured the land of Troy's allies while the other troops sieged the city. One of the events that precipitated during this period would be the internal conflict between Agamemnon and Achilles. It was caused by a dispute involving certain spoils of war. As a result, Achilles refused to fight, thus depriving the Achaean army of a powerful warrior and leaving it at a disadvantage. He returned once more to avenge the death of his dear friend Patroclus at the hands of Hector, a Trojan prince who was known to be the greatest warrior of Troy. Over the course of the war, Achilles finally perished when Paris shot his heel with a poisoned arrow. His exploits during the war made him a renowned figure in Greek mythology, and his feats were depicted in numerous works over the years. After 8 long years, the war against Troy had reached a stalemate. Neither army was at an advantage, and the Achaeans were starting to run out of resources. Odysseus devised a clever plan involving a large wooden horse, also known as the Trojan Horse. Troops were hidden within the horse, and it was sent to Troy under the guise of a gift. The Trojans lowered their guard, thinking that the Achaeans had surrendered, and brought the horse within the city walls. In the dead of the night, when the people of Troy reveled in their victory, the troops emerged and opened the gates of the Achaean army to enter. And thus began the ruthless sack of Troy. The city was razed to the ground and the people were massacred mercilessly. The king and the remaining princes were executed, and Helen was finally retrieved. Paris had died earlier in the war at the hands of Philoctetes, a Greek warrior. After sacking the city, the army at long last returned to their homes with the loot from Troy, and thus concluded the decade-long war sparked off by a frivolous dispute between vengeful gods.
So hope you guys had fun. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more interesting audiobooks.